Hi, Manuel. Thank you for your essays. Let's have a look at the essay about pollution first. The issue of contamination has grown in importance over the last few decades. Okay, this essay will first suggest that industries and cars in the cities are the biggest source of air pollution in the cities, and then submit planting more trees around the cities as the most viable solution, followed by a reasoned conclusion. Okay, that's an interesting introduction. Apparently, you are planning the structure and announcing the structure of your essay right in the introduction. This is not completely a bad idea, but it could be adapted to make the introduction more effective. So let's have a look. Contamination. It's not the perfect synonym for pollution because we use contamination when we say what the environment was contaminated with. For example, you can speak about contamination with lead as a heavy metal, or contamination with, let's say, mercury. So when you say contamination, you really have to say what it was contaminated with. So perhaps you could choose another synonym for pollution. I do understand that you're trying to choose synonyms. Okay. This essay will first suggest that industries and cars what the problem that I see here is cities 1, cities 2, and cities 3. Let's try and avoid repetitions like this. And when we observe them, when we reread our writing, make sure that you replace them with appropriate synonyms. Okay, you can say urban centers, you can say megapolises, you can say metropolises, up to you. Okay, I really like the fact that you're trying to enumerate what you're going to do, which is a good idea. You're offering structure. That's great. But perhaps saying that, this essay is going to do this, this, and this, and then I'm going to offer a conclusion is a bit excessive because, yes, it goes without saying that an essay ends in a conclusion. So perhaps we could fix it like this. This essay will first suggest that industries and cars in the cities are the biggest source of air pollution, and just remove in the cities here because this is simply repetitive and unnecessary. And then suggest, not submit. You can submit an essay. You have just submitted 2 essays for correction, right? You submit, you give them to your teacher. But submit planting more trees won't work. And then suggest planting more trees around, let's say, urban centers or in the urban centers as the most viable solution for what? For pollution? So I'm not sure what your for which kind of pollution, for air pollution, for water pollution, which one? Followed by a reasoned conclusion should go. Trust me, it should go. The foremost, probably the first and foremost, right? This is a collocation, which means the very, very first. Cause of air pollution in the cities. Oh, yes, and this is where we go. Air pollution. So this is what you want to discuss. So perhaps you might announce this somehow in the introduction because you haven't mentioned. Oh, yes, you have. Air pollution. Yes, you have. Yes, you have. Oh, my bad. Okay, the foremost cause of air pollution in the cities are large industries located in them. I would say not in them, but located there. And the fact that the drivers that go through the city. This is an interesting way of saying that people are using a lot of vehicles and that causes exhaust fumes. So I wouldn't say it this way. This is a bit simplistic, so to say. Perhaps you could say and that there are a lot of drivers in the city. And again, city here and cities here, let's make ourselves a point of avoiding repeats. Cars and industries again, industries here and industries here. I'm going to highlight all the repeats so that you can see them and think of replacing them with appropriate synonyms. Cars and industries produce particulate matter. This is impressive. Yes, you probably know something in the field. Particulate matter is a very appropriate term that you use here in the context of air pollution. Yes, absolutely. Which, comma, when inhaled in large quantities by a person can produce asthma, strokes, and even death. I would say, if you say asthma, then you can say stroke, right? Generalized by 2-1. Are you a doctor by any chance? Recent research by the World Health Organization, yes, you must be a doctor, estimated that outdoor air pollution produced by cars and industries 3, caused 3 million deaths during 2018. As cities expand, city 3, these problems are only to get worse. Let's agree on one thing. When we write essays, let's agree not to ever use the word get, phrasal verbs, or words like kids, because they're terribly informal and they don't fit the tone and style of the essay. Okay, I really like the structure that you use here. This is complex grammar. They are to become worse. This is really impressive. Way to go. Let's go on to the next paragraph. A possible cost-effective solution to this problem would be to plant more trees around the cities. Is it only around the cities or in the cities as well? So, I would question this around, but let's see your development. Trees remove particulate matter when polluted air blows through their branches. Trees are plural, so you really have to say there to keep the accord with the plural. Producing clean air for humans to breathe. Okay, if you say so. The Netherlands, I would introduce this by a linking expression, introducing examples. For example, right? So, you can say this measure has been proven to work in the Netherlands, which has had a positive result implementing this solution in cities with high population density and levels of air pollution. And you can say and increased levels of air pollution, because if you think that this high modifies both population density and levels of air pollution, it gets a bit confusing. So perhaps you could say increased as a synonym to high. Reducing the amount of polluted air by 70%. Great sentence structure, great argument, great example, great use of vocabulary. I don't want to stop. So therefore, it is conclusively clear that the problem can be treated. I wouldn't say treated. You don't treat a problem, you treat an illness. You can address a problem. You can tackle a problem. So up to you. There are other verbs that will collocate with problem. Let's say addressed. If authorities are willing to take action. Great grammar. So I really love the way you wrote this paragraph. Yes, apart from a couple of grammar inaccuracies, this is an absolutely great paragraph. You don't even have too many repeats, right? You don't have the cities and industries too much. Finally, the conclusion. And you're not announcing that this is a conclusion. Perhaps you could say, as it can be seen from the arguments provided above, or to conclude. Up to you. Let's start with the basic to conclude. To conclude, as cities grow, the number of people living in cities will grow. Okay, you see we have repeats. As cities grow, the number of people will grow. Let's say the number of people will let's say increase. I'm not being very creative, as you can see, but again, think of a synonym. Don't let your vocabulary be marred by a repeat like this. And so will the amount of cars and industries in them. Again, don't really say in them, say there, to point to the cities. Why amount? The number of cars, exactly, because you cannot. An amount is of something which cannot be counted, or it can, but it represents somehow a collective unit. But cars would rather say number. Planting trees in the cities as a method to clean the air we breathe. I wouldn't say the air we breathe. I would say to clean breathable air because this we is a bit confusing. Is a viable solution to this issue. It is predicted that in the future the number of trees planted in cities will grow. All right. Viable solution. I heard this before as the most viable solution. You see, I remember where I saw that. Don't do, try not to do that because this is again a repeat of good vocabulary, which is very conspicuous. I can see that I remember that. So, as a writing assessor, I will think, oh, this IELTS candidate doesn't really have another good way of saying a viable solution. So, fewer points for vocabulary. Again, it is predicted. How about we are less categorical and softer, and let's say it could be predicted that in the future the number of trees planted in the cities will grow, and I would say because, and give a reason why. Because this prediction cannot be made simply on an empty place without using the proofs that you have provided. Or you can say, based on the facts analyzed above, it could be predicted that, if you mean that. So this is a great essay, absolutely great vocabulary, great coherence, but take care of the small errors. Vocabulary repeats. Keep your range of vocabulary because I can see that the words that you know are really great. Okay, and now the letter, right? So you have to write a letter to the employer, and you're looking for a summer job. You have to introduce yourself, explain what type of job you like, and explain your previous experiences and related skills. Dear Sir, Madam, great. And how do we end? Yours faithfully, Manuel Lapay. Okay, let's agree on one thing. There is no need to put a full stop here because Manuel Lapay is not a sentence. If it's not a sentence, it doesn't need a full stop. Okay, dear Sir, Madam, my name is Manuel Lapay. I'm a senior year system engineering student at RIT majoring in network security. Okay, good. First thing first. This comma shouldn't be here. You can say and, or you can simply make your presentation, your introduction, a short sentence and put a full stop there. What it wouldn't sound good. Okay. And I'm a senior year system engineering student, RIT. Okay. My question is, what is RIT? I have never heard of that. I know what is MIT, but I don't know what RIT is. So when you use an acronym such as this, perhaps you could first say, let's say, I don't know, give me a Roswell, let's say, Institute of Technology, right? So you write it in full form, no, beg your pardon. You write it in full form here, let's say Roswell Institute of Technology, and you put RIT in parentheses, right, like this. Why? Because further on, you won't be wanting to use four words for referring to your university, so you're going to be using the acronym, right? So make sure that you do this. Otherwise, this RIT acronym means nothing to me as a writing assessor and anyone else. Okay, majoring in network security. I would like to apply for a summer internship at your company. As an individual who is interested in learning constantly about the security industry, I would cherish the opportunity to learn inside a company with your vision regarding network security. Great, but I have a feeling that I've heard network security 3 times. Okay, security here, network security here. Okay, okay. So we have twice network security and once just security. Perhaps you could find a way of referring to this somehow otherwise. Perhaps saying regarding my field of activity or this field of activity or this field of information technologies, up to you. I would like to work as a security analyst, but I'm also willing to work as a programmer or a system administrator. Okay. Uh, well, do we say programmer or software developer? Both are okay, actually. So it's actually up to you, right? Um, so perhaps you might use a linking word here. What link? Um, what link to the previous paragraph would you introduce? Perhaps you could say, as for the job that would I would find, I don't know, that would be suitable for my qualifications is I would like to work as this and this and that. So again, this is a very, very tentative way to link to the previous paragraph, but I have a feeling that something's missing here. Great topical vocabulary. Of course, this is who you are. Okay. Oh, and I was saying that you're a doctor. No, apparently you're this. As an individual, oh no, I love jobs that challenge me every day and demand me to constantly work on finding innovative solutions to problems. Um, as this is a formal letter, perhaps you might reconsider using the word love and say that I am really fond of, or something more toned down, I would say. But love is too emotive for a formal letter like this. But anyway, I really like the way you explain how you appreciate certain things and you what exactly you love in things that in the things that you do. Okay. As you can see from my CV, my previous experience was a 3 month apprenticeship at RIT. I would say first as a technical support representative and then as a programmer. Beg your pardon. During this time, I worked with Cisco and Fortinet network solutions. Okay. And also developed Python code scripts. Oh, Python is a programming language. I know that much. So you would have to capitalize that. I have an easygoing personality and good problem solving skills. Okay. During this time, comma, yes, indeed. Okay. If this second sentence is connected to the first one, then this sentence about your personality is not really connected to what comes before. So what I like suggesting is a linking word. How would you connect the fact that you have an easygoing personality to your previous experience and the fact that you worked with this and that type of network solution and you can handle Python programming language? So what exactly is the connection of this and your personality? So if you figure it out, make this connection. If not, I'm not sure you should mention your personality features here. If you find my skills and experience suitable, please contact me to schedule an interview. I'm looking forward to discussing my credentials with you personally. Credentials, yeah, you can say credentials, but yeah, never mind. Yes, this is good. Again, you have really good vocabulary in terms of job application. Thank you for your time and consideration. Oh, yours faithfully, Manuel Latte. Um, I wouldn't say thank you for your time and consideration. I would say um, somehow it looks very, very, very soft here. I'm not sure we should include this here. Without this, your application letter, because this is it's a cover letter technically. Your cover letter would look more serious and more professional. So even though many people would leave this phrase, the sentence, I would, in a real context, I would advise against it. So yes, this is an absolutely great cover letter. Well, letter to an employer in the IELTS classification. So keep up the great work. Mind the corrections that I made in the essay, and looking forward to more of your essays.